Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of That's a Wrap. My name is Anthony Gentry, and today we got a lot to talk about. We got Expend4bles, and yes, I'm going to call it that because that's in the name. It's stupid, and I'm going to call it that. We have the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. Wes Anderson is back. We got trailers. The strike is over. We got a lot to talk about. Let's dive in. So, let's start with some trailers. First trailer that I want to talk about is from Matthew Vaughn. It's called Argylle. This there's not much in it. It's like less than a minute long. There's like someone throws a cat off a roof, and then it's like from the twisted mind of Matthew Vaughn. He's the guy who made Kingsman, X-Men First Class. I wouldn't call that twisted, but you do you, man. This it looks interesting. I know Henry Cavill's in it. He wasn't in the teaser trailer, but cool. It comes out February 2nd, so be on the lookout for that in our review. Next trailer I want to talk about is called May December. This movie looks like a kind of psychological thriller about an actress who goes to study someone who she's going to make a movie about, and that someone was in a relationship with a very young boy who was, I think they said, in the 7th grade, and then the main actress wants like to be in a relationship with that young boy also once he's grown. It looks interesting. I don't the premise seems kind of weird. I don't know about that. It seems kind of icky. But yeah, there's not really much to say about that either. Comes out December 1st. It's on Netflix. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. Next trailer. All of Us Strangers. This movie, conceptually, I thought, all right, another romance movie. Okay. But the trailer itself looked really interesting. It has, man, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who played Moriarty in the Sherlock series, and I keep wanting to say Pedro Pascal, but it's his last name's Pascal, and he was in like After Sun last year. I don't know your name. I'm sorry, but it's about these two guys who meet. They form a romantic connection, and the main guy, his parents died when he was like 12 years old, and then suddenly after this connection, he's seeing his parents again. He's forming a relationship with them after they pass, and it's probably like all in his head or something, but it seems like this really like heartwarming and touching story about this guy who was stuck in life and then found this romantic connection with this guy, and that's opening him up to heal more. And it seems really cool. It seems very interesting. It's out December 22nd. So a little ways away, but hey, I'm gonna watch it. It's from Searchlight. I love Searchlight. They make a lot of good movies or distribute. That looks really cool. Be on the lookout for that. Last trailer. It's a big one. It's Disney. It's Wish. This movie, as I say in the trailer, is a century in the making. We talked about this earlier on past episodes. Austin was not a huge fan of the trailers. I like it. I think it looks cute. I really like the art style of it. It's like a mix of 3D and 2D with this kind of painterly look, and I really like that vibe that's giving. This trailer kind of made me a little more down on it, mainly because it seemed like a lot more of like just Disney fare. I was hoping they would branch out more, but this seems like a lot of past Disney movies, which isn't bad. I do like them all, but yeah, I was hoping for a little more. The trailer itself, it still looked great. I keep forgetting the names of all these actors, but the person who plays the main lead, her voice is amazing. I really like the song that she's singing, even though we only get one line. But yeah, it looks cool. Chris Pine's the villain. He is going to be great because Chris Pine. I'm really interested to see how that turns out. Alan Tudyk, of course, plays the animal sidekick in The Goat. But yeah. All right, trailer's down. Let's move on to the main stuff. First off, before we get into any reviews or anything, I want to say this morning I woke up and I got great news. The Writers Guild of America strike is over. Is done. They came to an agreement with the AMPTP to stop the strike, and they came to a deal where they get more residuals. They came to agreements with AI, writers' room minimums, and I was really surprised reading through a lot of it because I was not expecting the writers to get a lot of what they wanted, and they got a lot of what they wanted, and for good reason. They deserve it. They deserve more pay, more residual pay. They deserve to have a minimum number of writers so people get more work. The AI issue, they do not have to use AI. If a studio uses AI for a source material, that AI cannot be credited, and they have to disclose it to the writer, which is, yeah, that's very cool. I like that a lot. They can't be forced to use it. But especially the pay, they're getting, it didn't seem substantial, but it seemed like a lot more than they're getting now, which is always a good thing. You gotta pay your writers. They're the people who are making our movies what they are. And now next up is the actors. Pay your actors. Get them the things that they need. Residuals, AI. Same issues. Pay them. Resolve them, please. So yeah, I just want to say that because I'm very happy about that, especially as someone who wants to go into the industry, possibly as a writer. It was a very scary time for a while, but now maybe not so much. So yeah, thumbs up. All right, let's move in to the movies. I have two movies for you today. One is a little last minute, and that's because I forgot it came out today, but I'm very happy about it. And that is Wes Anderson's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Now, this is not a full-length feature film, but it is a short film based on Roald Dahl's book. I think it was also like a short book. I'm not entirely sure, but this is part of a series of short films that Wes Anderson is coming out with, I think every day for the next like 3 or 4 days on Netflix. And this is the first one. It's the longest. It's about 40 minutes long. So it's not too bad. But the movie itself, it's wonderful. It's in the name. It's wonderful. You got that Wes Anderson charm. And I know he says he doesn't have a style. He has a style. And that style really shines through here. One of the things that really struck me about this movie is that I say it's an adaptation of the book. They're not adapting. They're just doing the book. I haven't read the short story, but it seems like they are just saying the lines word for word from the book onto the screen. And so it feels like this mix of a stage production mixed with when you were a little kid in kindergarten and your teacher would read you a book. And that all came together, those with Wes Anderson's style, to bring this really unique story about a story within a story within a story about like magic kind of, and using talents within you that you didn't know you had. And what if you use them for bad? What if you use them for good? And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I don't want to give too much away, but the performances are also really great. Benedict Cumberbatch is in it. Ralph Fiennes, I think, was probably my favorite performance because he's not in it a lot, but what he does give is great. It's very funny what some of the lines he has, especially towards the end when he just blurts out a random line. Dev Patel, Ben Kingsley, they're all great. They all give that sort of dry Wes Anderson delivery while still having emotion with it. It's always weird, like with a Wes Anderson movie, because his dry delivery doesn't like give emotion, but that is the emotion of it, and it just kind of enhances it and it brings it out even more. But yeah, you get that rule of thirds in it. It's charming, it's sweet, it's wonderful. go watch it, and watch the rest of the Wes Anderson shorts once they come out. I'll be reviewing them next week. If they're anything like this, they're going to be great. All right. Oh yeah, I'd probably give that like an 80, 85 out of 100. It's good. Now it's time for the main event. And if you noticed, I just talked about a lot of things because I did not want to talk about this. The main review for today, of course, is Expend4bles, the fourth film in the Expendables franchise, led by Sylvester Stallone. I have not seen the other Expendables movies, and I'm not mad that I didn't. They didn't seem my cup of tea, but they were my grandfather's cup of tea. He loved a lot of like 80s action films, and if you don't know, the Expendables is bringing back a lot of old like 80s stars, like action stars, into today and making an action movie with them and like centering it around them and like, look at them, they're older but they can still kick butt. Yeah, look, isn't this rad? And so yeah, he liked these movies, and so I like would catch glimpses here and there, and it just seemed like a lot of goofy, over the top action, cheesy one-liners, all that you want out of an 80s action movie. And they kind of had a tongue-in-cheek kind of feel with it because they knew what they were doing, but they still wanted to have fun with it. Now with this movie, I don't think they know what they're doing. This movie is just abysmal. Like I said, it stars Sylvester Stallone. It also stars Jason Statham, who is kind of replacing Stallone as the lead. I'm not sure how good of a choice that was, especially because Statham is a current action star. He's not an older one, and that kind of takes away the point of the franchise. And I don't want to give away a lot of the plot, but Jason Statham is on... There is no plot. What am I saying? Jason Statham goes on a mission with the Expendables. Something goes wrong. They blame him. They say, "You're out." And he's like, "I'm not out. I'm coming along, and I'm going to track you down, and I'm going to go on this mission." And guess what the mission is? Someone has a nuke. World War III. Look how original this is, right? Right? Yeah. So someone has a nuke, and the new Expendables, led by Megan Fox, who, she's in it. I don't think she was in the other ones. I really only know her from Transformers, and I haven't even seen Transformers. She's not great in this, but neither is anyone else. And so they go on a mission, and Jason Statham is just tracking them along because he wants to be buddy-buddy with them again. And they don't want him to be buddy-buddy. And yeah, the plot for this movie is just, it's so bad. The story, it's all just not even a bunch of actors, it's a few actors just stroking their ego. Especially Jason Statham. There's one scene where he's playing a bouncer after he got kicked out of the Expendables, and it's all shot through this influencer's like live stream. And the moment Jason Statham comes on to camera, there's a bunch of comments saying, "Oh, look how hot he is. Wow, that bald man is so gorgeous. I want to kiss him." And it's like, did he write this dialogue? Why are all these people fawning over Jason Statham? Like, sure, he's a good-looking guy, but it was way over the top, and you just know that he like had that in his contract to be like, "I want this to be said about me. It's a megalodon." There's no megalodon in this, unfortunately. That would make it better. And even the action in this, it's so bland. It's lazy. This movie was released by Lionsgate, who also, at the beginning of this year, came out with John Wick 4, which is one of the best action movies. And it's so weird to see that they released that and then turn around and release one of the worst action movies I might have ever seen. Because the effects are awful, and I feel so bad for the VFX artists because they were probably rushed because it does not look good in any instance. Especially when Jason Statham does a ramp jump, which he does twice in this movie for some reason. And one of them, he jumps and it's flat. He doesn't go any distance. And then the second one, he flies. He full on Superman flies. But even without that, the choreography is bland. The editing, you can't really see a lot of what's going on. It's not believable. The environments is like a shipping container or cardboard boxes here and there. And there's not really much to it. And you can tell like no one wants to be there, especially if you look at the cast size. Like if you look at the poster for any of the other three Expendables movies, there's a whole list of all these action stars, whether it's Harrison Ford or Arnold or Bruce Willis. And in this is like 6 of them. It feels like the microwaved leftovers of the Expendables franchise. You get what you get. It's anyone who just decided to tag along. It's bland, and it's there. It's watchable, but it's not much. I almost fell asleep a lot throughout this movie, and I was still able to track the plot. If that tells you anything about it, yeah, this is so bad. I don't even know if I can say anything more about it except don't see this movie, please, for your own good. Yeah, that'll probably be it. I would probably give this maybe a 20 out of 100. This is definitely my least favorite movie of the year so far, unless something else knocks it out of the park. But yeah, that's it. This is gonna be a shorter episode, just because there was a lot to talk about, but there wasn't much to say about any of them, except Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Go watch that, please. And writers, congrats. But that'll do it for today. A little short one for you. You can follow us at That's Our App NCR on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you were watching on YouTube, you're watching this with video. Congratulations, you can see me. Have you watched this movie? Have you watched any of the trailers? Have you watched Henry Sugar? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. So yeah, please subscribe if you liked us or if you like this. Next week, I will be reviewing The Creator, possibly Saw X or Dumb Money if I get around to seeing those. So yeah, stick around for those reviews. But until next time, that's a wrap.